that means your does not return any value. See, in the previous example and the previous class, I already told that void main. Okay, so void main is not here there will be no return 0 because we are given a void main. Okay, and int main we have, right? So here int is one value, that is if you don't give by default it is going as an integer only. Okay, so int I see out, this is output. Enter a number, C in I, we are going to input the value of I, right? And C out square will be is equal to I into I. Okay, so this is a now this is the C out square will be I into I, and we are going to give a backslash n within the double quotes to bring the cursor to the next line. This output will be enter a number 5, right? 5 square will be is equal to 25. That is a I into I will be is equal to 25. So another example is the variables, that is called as we can define or use in C++ where we need to storage for any value which will change in the program. Variables can be declared in multiple ways, each with a different memory requirements and functioning. Variables is the name of the memory location allocated by the compiler depending upon the data type of the variable. Okay, so declaration and initialization of the variables. So variables must be declared before they are used. Usually it is preferred to declare them at the starting of the program in C language, but in C++ they can declare anywhere in the program but before its first use, right? So declared in the middle of the program too, but must be done before we are going to start using that variable. Okay, example, int I declared but not initialized, right? Character C. Okay, so here C, when we want to do the multiple declaration of variables I comma j comma k, this is a multiple declaration. Initialization means assigning a value to an already declared variable. See, variables are used in C++ where we need to storage for any value which will change in the program. Okay, so you know the rules for naming a variable, right? So that is whenever we want to declare a variable, we are already studied what are the rules we have to follow in C language. The same rules we can use it in this variable declaration also. That is only difference is it allows 32 characters to declare a variable. Even ANSI also allows the user to declare a 32 characters only. So them starting of the program, but in C++ they can be declared in the middle of the program too, but must be done before using them. Okay, so initialization means assigning the value to the variable. Okay, so this initialization means we are going to assign some constant value to the variable. It is called as a initialization. Now multiple declaration, when we want to declare no more than one variable, we have the separate comma operator as a separate comma operator, multiple declarations. Initialization means assigning some value to an already declared variable. Int I, this is the declaration, right? And I is equal to 10 is the initialization. Initialization and declaration can be done in one single step also, like int I is equal to 10 directly. And even when you want to assign multiple values also, int I is equal to 10 and j is equal to 11. If a variable is declared and not initialized by default, it will hold a garbage value. Okay. Also, if a variable is once declared and if try to declare it again, we'll get a compile time error. Int I comma j, I is equal to 10, j is equal to 20, and int j is equal to I plus j. It is a compiler error because here see we are doing the int j redeclaration of the variable in the same space. So here you are already declared int ij, right? It is not necessary once again to declare a int j. Okay, so that is it gives a compiler error. It cannot be redeclared as a variable in the same scope. So all the variables have their area of functioning. Okay, scope of the variable, that is a you have studied different variables, that is the variable. First we learn the rules of the variables. First thing is your variable name always starts with an alphabet, not with a digit or a symbols. Second rule is the underscore is also considered as a one character, right? And third rule is no special characters are used for naming a variable except underscore, right? And your identification of the variable will be up to 32 characters, right? Then the next one is that 32 characters, and reserved words and keywords are cannot be used for naming a variable, right? And these are the very important rules that you have to remember while giving the name of a variable. Okay, if a variable is declared and initialized by default, it will hold a garbage value. Also, if a variable is once declared and if you try to declare it again, we'll get a compile time error. Okay, so like this. So we are already declared int I comma j and int j is equal to I plus j. All the variables have their see scope of the variables. You have come across different kinds of variables like local variables, global variables, right? Register variables, static variables, okay, and auto variables, right? Automatic variables are also called as the local variables, and global variables are sometimes are also called as the static variables, right? And register variables you have where we are going to store the data in the registers, right, for easy accessing of the value. So they are called as the register variables. Then when you have these kinds of variables, then what is their scope, where we can use them? Okay, what is the lifetime of those variables? So these variables, all the variables have their area of functioning, and out of that boundary they don't hold their value. This boundary is called scope of the variable. For most of the cases, it's between the curly braces in which variable is declared that a variable exists not outside it. We can broadly divide the variable into two main types, that is the global variables and the local variables. So as I told before the main heading, whenever you are going to declare the variable, they are called as the global variables. And if you are going to declare the variables within the block or within the function or after the main, they are all called as the local variables. Global variables are those which are once declared and can be used throughout the lifetime of the program. That means any functions can use that, and lifetime is throughout the program itself. So the lifetime of the program by any class or any function, they must be declared outside the main function. If only declared, then can be assigned different values at different time in a program lifetime. But even if they are declared and initialized at the same time outside the main function, then also they can be assigned any value at any point in the program. Examples only declared, not initialized. So this is a program which is going to illustrate declaration of the global variables. Here before the main I have given the int x. So okay, this is the global variable declaration. Int main beginning bracket x is equal to 10 initialized once. Okay, see out the first value of the x is the 10, right? Second time I am going to initialize the x value is equal to 20, initialized again. So initialize again with the value x, so that value will be is equal to 20. Local variables are the variables which exist only between the curly braces in which it's declared. Outside that, they are unavailable and leads to compile time error. Okay. Local variables are also called as automatic variables. They have the meaning or they have the lifetime only in that particular block where they have declared. Okay. So they are called as a local variable. See now, before the main there we are not declared any variable, right? So beginning int I is equal to 10. If I is less than 20, it condition scope starts. Now int 10 is equal to 100. It is a local variable declared and initialized. Okay, and C out n. So it is compile error. Why? Because n is used outside the block. Since C and C++ are block structured programs, right? And where we are going to define or declare that variable, then and there only it is having the lifetime. If you cross that particular block, the lifetime of that local variable die off, right? So it is a compile time error. N is not available here because it is declared in the particular blocks. Here from this beginning bracket to this beginning bracket, n is declared, not outside the or before the block. That is why C and C++ are called as a block structured programming. So reference variables in C++. Okay. So there are some variables called as a reference variable, and you can ask one question: what is the difference between the reference variable and the normal variable? Normal variables will not prefix with the ampersand symbol, right? But the reference variables are prefixed with the ampersand address operator to say that aliases, alternate name for that variable. Okay. When a variable is declared as a reference, it becomes an alternative name for an existing variable. A variable can be declared as a reference by putting ampersand in the declaration. That is called as the address operator, which is called as a reference, right? That means same location referred by the two names, one with the address reference, the other one is the direct accessing method to that location, right? So aliases, right? Alternate names will be there for the reference variables. So anyone changes the particular value that reflect on the others also. That means since it has a two names, right? So you can change or modify the data in that location with the any two names also. Okay, that is the reference variables. So you can use the reference parameters, and you can also use the reference variables with prefixing the word the reference, right? With prefixing the address operator, that is the ampersand symbol. Okay. Now int main, see here int x is equal to 10. Now see reference where reference to x, int and reference. I am going to create another variable called as a ref. Okay. Is equal to x. Okay. And reference is equal to x. So value of x is now changed to 20. Reference is equal to 20. See out x is equal to x. Endl operator. We are using the endl operator, and reference is equal to 20. Now what I am doing is I am changing the value of the location x with the value 20, right? So if I'm going, whatever the changes I'm going to made on X, that also reflects on reference, and whatever the changes I'm going to made on REF, it reflects on X. Both are referring to the same location itself, right? So now value of X now change to 20. Reference is equal to 20. See out X is equal to X, and value of now change it to 30. I'm going to change the X value, that is equal to 30. Now reference, when I am going to try to print the value of X, then it is going to print the 30. Now see, X value is equal to the 10, right? I and X value is equal, reference value is equal to 20, and I have changed it to 30, right? Now the output will be X is equal to 20 now, because I have changed the value of reference. I have changed it from 10 to 20, and now it has been changed to 30. Then the X value is equal to 20. See, whatever the changes I am going to make on reference, it reflects on X, and whatever the changes I am going to make on X, it reflects on REF. Okay. Now, so come to the functions in C++. As I already mentioned that the function in C++ functions becomes a building blocks of the C++ programming language, right? So how we are going to say that there the building blocks of the function. So dividing the program into the modules. Dividing the program into the modules. These modules are called as functions. Okay. General form of the function will be return type function name parameter list. Okay. So general form of function is return type, then you have to give the name of the function, and within the parenthesis you have to give the parameter list, and below that you will have the body of the function, where we are going to write some group of statements, programming statements, that they are going to be useful for the specific, to perform a specific task, right? So structure of a C function, C++ function will be very important is return type, then you will have the function name, and you will have the parameter list, and beginning bracket and the closing bracket, since function is also sub program, and it will have the instructions or set of programs, set of statements defined in the body of the function. So we call, from the beginning bracket to the close bracket, it is called as the body of the function. Where return type, what is the value to be written? So function can return any value except arrays. So parameter list the variables separated by comma. The body of the function is private to that particular function. It cannot be accessed by outside the function. Okay. So list of variables separated by comma. So if you have more than one parameter in the list, they are separated by a comma. And what will be the return value? Return type of the function may be what is the value you are returning, type of the data type of the value, integer, float, or character, or a double, right? So a function can return any value except an array, because a function can return only one value at a time. So whereas an array is a group of variables, it cannot return more than one value. That is why you cannot return array, you can return only one variable. So list of variables are separated by comma. The body of the function is private to that particular function. It cannot be accessed outside the function. Okay. It cannot be accessed outside the function. The components of the function declaration or prototype, function parameters, formal parameters, function definition, return statement, and function call. Okay. So these are the components for the The components of this function are function declaration, or it is also called as a prototype, right? Function parameters, or it is also called as formal parameters, and function definition, return statement, and function call. Okay, so these are the different components of a function. Now, example include iostream.h. We'll take some example which illustrate all these components of a function. So we'll illustrate with example so that it gives a better understanding what is a what are the declaration of the function, what do you mean by the function call, what do you mean by return statement, what do you mean by function definition and all. Very important thing you must remember is function declaration and function call always ends with a semicolon. Function definition does not end with a semicolon. Remember, if you are going to put a semicolon for the function definition, it indicates that end of the statement. When it end with the end of the statement, right? So the below statements which are present in the function body does not belongs to that, there belongs to that function body, so that program will not be executed. Now we'll take some simple example which is going to illustrate the function components. Function declaration always done in the before the main program or after the main program anyway. But the thing is, if we are going to declare before the main, it is called as a global variable, global function declaration or global function prototyping. If you are going to declare after the main, then it is called as a local prototype, or it is also called as a local declaration, right? And see, function prototype consists of formal arguments. The variables which are declared inside the parentheses are called as a x, y, okay? Then they are called as they are called as the x, y are called as a formal argument, right? Void main, that is a function caller. The main program is called, and int ABC. ABC are the two variables, right? ABC are the three variables where you are going to enter two integers c in a comma b, right? And c is equal to maximum of a comma b. Now I am using the function max a comma b. It is called as a function call. Function call where we are going to call a function max a comma b, c out c, right? And whatever the value we are returning from the function, that returns to this c, in turn we are going to print the c value, right? See, now what is a c is belongs to integer. That is the reason why the return type of your function will be integer. Int max of int x comma y, int if x is greater than y, return x as return y. So we are comparing two numbers. If the two numbers are if the two numbers we are going to compare, right? If the first value is greater than the second value, then if the condition is true, it returns x value, it returns the first value, right? Otherwise it returns a second value. So this is a program only when the numbers are not equal. Remember, you can ask the question, what about if the numbers are equal? This is a program designed only when two numbers are different, not for the same numbers, okay? So function prototype is, say for example, int max. Okay, int is a return type because see, x and y are integers. The return either x value or the y value. So max, okay, so max is the name of the function int x comma int y. It provides the following information to the compiler, okay, that this function is going to be used in future, and it takes two parameters of the same kind, int x comma int y, okay. The name of the function is max, okay. And the type of a value it is returned by default, if you don't specify any return type, it is going to be the int, okay. So default an integer. The number and types of the arguments that must be supplied in a call to the function. Function prototyping is one of the key improvements added in a C++ functions. When a function is encountered, the compiler checks the function call with its prototype and correct argument types are used or not. That is the reason why in C++ the program execution will be slower, because it needs to check all these kind of parameters. When a function is encountered, the compiler checks the function call with its prototype, with its function call, and with its definition. All the parameters must match. Otherwise, again, it searches any alternative is there to make the internal conversions, right? That is the reason why it is going to take slower in execution part, because of this reason only. So consider this following statement: int max int x comma int y semicolon. It informs the compiler that the function max has two arguments of the type integer. The function max returns an integer value. The compiler knows how many bytes to retrieved and how to interpret the value returned by the function, right? The function itself is returned to as function definition. The first line come to the function definition. The next component of your function, okay, will be the function definition. The first line of the function definition is known as the function declarator and is followed by the function body. The declarator and declaration must use the same function name, number of arguments, the argument type, and the return type. We should match with the three places. One is a function declaration, the second one is a function call, and third one is a function definition. And all the three places it matches with the name, return type, and function list of parameters, and that parameters belongs to the which data type. Then only it will not signal any error. Again also, to make the internal conversions like character into the integer, right, and floating point double into the floating point into the double, it searches for any other matches is there in the program. So that is the reason why it is going to take the lot of time to convert. Okay, the body of the function is enclosed in braces. Okay, the body, as we know that since it is a function, it will have the beginning and closing of the program. So that is the reason why it has been enclosed with a pair of braces. That is the beginning of the subprogram and ending of the subprogram. C++ allows the definition to be placed anywhere in the program. Like int max definition, you can define the function before the main, or you can define function below after the main also, no problem in C language, right? So declaration C++, sorry. So int max int x comma int y, this is called as a function declaration, no function definition actually. This is a function declaration definition, because it is the see, there is no what semicolon is given for the definition of the function, because this is because of the reason is very simple, that the statements which are present below the function heading, or all the statements belongs to that function heading itself. Suppose what is the indication of the semicolon? Semicolon always indicates end of the statement, right? Okay, that is the reason why we are not giving the semicolon. The function call C is equal to max of A comma B invokes the function max with two integer parameters. Executing the call statement causes the control to be transferred to the first statement, the function body, and after execution of the function body, the control is resumed to the statement following the function call. The max returns the maximum of the parameters A and B. The return value is assigned to the local variable C in the main heading. Function parameters, the parameters specified in the function call are known as actual parameters. Okay, that means, say for example, So the function these are I am calling the function in the C here. I am going to call here C is equal to max of AB, right? So here function call. So AB are called as the actual parameters because this is the values actually we are sending to the function. That is why they are called as the actual parameters. And whatever the variables we are declaring in the function definition and function declaration, they are called as a formal parameters, right? Function call. So function parameters, function return, the function definition, right? The declarator and declaration must use the same function name, number of arguments, the argument type and return type. The body of the function is enclosed in braces. C++ allows the definition to be placed anywhere in the program. Int max of int x comma int y. So function definition, and we are not using any semicolon for defining the function. Now next component will be the function call. C is equal to max of a comma b invokes the function max with two integer parameters. Executing the call statement causes the control to be transferred to the first statement in the function body, and after execution of the function body, the control is resumed to the statement following the function call. The max function returns the maximum of the parameters a and b. The return value is assigned to the local variable c in the main. Okay. So that is a function call. It ends with a semicolon, and here it is not necessary to give the data type int a comma int b like that. Simply you have to give the what are the variables you want to give, right? Not necessary to mention the data type. This is because it is already done in the function prototyping, and also it is already done in the function definition, right? Here it's not, we are already given the information to the compiler in the function prototyping itself that we are sending the two parameters of this particular data type. For example, int a comma int b, both are integers. So one more very important thing is like variables separator, don't use it. Like int a comma b, it's not a valid declaration, right? Even though both the variables are belongs to the same data type, you have to give the separate command int a comma int b. So okay, the max returns the maximum of the parameters a and b. The return value is assigned to the local variable c in the main program. When you are going to return that value c, it assigns to the local variable c. C is a local variable. I cannot use in c in the this function. Why? Because it is local to this particular block of the program, that is having the scope only in this block, and outside the block that doesn't have the scope. Okay, so that is about the function call and how it returns the value, assigns the value. And there is another method where you can directly call the function in the cout statement itself without creating a third variable for the assignment, right? Okay, you can directly call, say for example, the largest of two numbers will be insertion operator max of a comma b, like this also you can give. Okay, the max returns a maximum of the parameters a and b. The return value is assigned to the local variable c in the main program. Then come for the function parameters. Say a and b are called as what? Parameters, because they are present inside the parentheses. That is the reason why they are called as a parameters. The parameters specified in the function call are known as actual parameters, and which are specified in the declarator are known as the formal parameters, right? As I already mentioned that actual parameters and the formal parameters, right? Actual parameters are the variables which are present in the declaration of the prototype itself. Actual parameters are present in the the function call, right? So actual parameters and the formal parameters. So A and B are actual parameters and x and y are called as the formal parameters. When a function call is made, a one-to-one correspondence is established between the actual and the formal parameter. In this case, the value of the variable a is assigned to the variable x and b is assigned to the y. The scope of formal parameters limited to the functions only, right? So return statement, very important. Say return statement is always, it is not a must, right? Even you can print the value inside the function itself. There where return statement does not exist, that time we can give the return type as a void. Okay. Then function can be grouped into two categories: the functions that do not have a return value void and functions that have a return value. The functions that does not have a return value is specified by a void, and the functions that have a return value is specified with a return statement, return x, function return, and the return y, function return. So why? Because it is given a int max. Say suppose I am going to give a void max. What happens if I am going to give a void max? Void max means that function will not return any value. So we are going to give that instead of return statement, I am going to display the biggest of two numbers will be the insertion operator x or the insertion operator y. Y, because it to display the value of the y. Okay, where you don't to specify the return statement in the maximum function. Okay, that is a return statement may be present or may not be present. It depends upon the question they are going to ask. If they are going to ask a return statement must be, you have to return the value from the function to the main program, it is compulsory that you have to give the return statement. Otherwise, if they don't ask any return statement, return the value from the main, right? That is from the function to the main, then you no need to scratch your head. Just you can print the answer in the function itself. Don't use a return, that, this and all, right? So return statement is not mandatory. It need not to be end of the function. It can be occur anywhere in the function body. As soon as it is encountered, the execution control will be returned to the caller. So you can give the return statement in the beginning or end or in the middle also. Whenever this return statement is encountered by your program, your function, right? That control is get transferred to the calling part of the function. When it returns to the calling part of the function, right, then the next statement, suppose you are given the middle of the statement as a return, the further statements will not be executed, right? So this is about the different function components, that is the function prototype, function call, function parameters, function definition, return statement, and the function call. Okay, function declaration or the prototype. Okay, so then in then that is a formal parameters and actual parameters. They are very important. The function call parameters are always called as actual parameters, and the function prototype or declarator parameters are also called as a formal parameters, and the function definition parameters are also called as a formal parameters only, right? So there will be no actual parameter exist only in the calling part of your function, not with any other part of the function. Okay, that is about your function prototype. And one more very important thing you must remember is your function declaration or the prototype ends with a semicolon, and your function definition does not end with a semicolon, right? And your this one function Call is also end with a semicolon. Except function definition does not end with the semicolon, right? So as a semicolon indicates it is the end of the statement. Return statement exists only when you are returning the value, right? So if they don't ask returning the value from that particular function to the main, then you no need to give the return word, right? You can display the value in the function itself.